Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Friday, September 2nd, 2022, and giving you our parlay picks, match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, make sure to watch them till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Our first parlay pick is Temple vs Duke. Temple plus 7 points. Both the Duke Blue Devils and Temple Owls are going into the 2022 football season with a fresh approach thanks to new head coaches. Stan Drayton is entering his first year at Temple, while Mike Elko has taken over at Duke. There is a lot of uncertainty in this game, but there appears to be an edge for one side. This year the Duke offense will be on a learning curve. Elko is still undecided about who the QB will be this season opener after the Blue Devils averaged fewer than 15 points per game in their last 5 contests of the 2021 campaign. Dealing with a big question mark surrounding the most important position on the field isn't a way to start a season. The running game may not be any better, either, as the Blue Devils will be without 2021 leading rusher Mateo Durant, who accounted for more than 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. New offensive coordinator Kevin Johns will implement a new offense that is more up-tempo, so there could be a big transition period in terms of offensive execution. The Owls are fortunate enough to have a returning quarterback this season. Drayton announced that Juan Mathis will be the starter on Friday, and the former Georgia recruit will look to improve his stats from last year. He has familiarity with the same offense that he ran last year, so that should help especially in the early stages of this 2022 campaign. Jose Barban leads this group of wide receiver core, which brings back 3 of the top 4 from last year. Barban contributed the most receiving yards last year among those who are returning. Playing alongside some experienced weapons from last year will give Mathis a good chance to unlock his full potential. The point spread is a big number for a Blue Devil team that has too many question marks. There isn't any certainty about the offense or defense being successful. I trust Temple's offense to have the bigger advantage against Duke's defense because of returning experience, thus allowing the underdogs to cover the spread. Our second parlay pick. Illinois vs Indiana. Illinois plus 3 points. It was an impressive Week 0 start for the Fighting Illini as they dominated in a 38-6 win over Wyoming as an 11-point favorite. Illinois' new starter Tommy DeVito looked like an answer to an offense that was bottom 10 in the nation last year in completion percentage and passing yards per game. The Indian Hoosiers went 2-10 last season as they continued to get dominated by other Big Ten opponents. They also struggled on offense as they only averaged 290 total yards per game and they continued to turn the ball over. Indiana also failed to score more than 15 points in 8 of their 12 games played. Luckily, they have revamped their skill positions through the transfer portal as they are looking to be better this season. According to Sports Illustrated, Tom Allen has announced a starting quarterback for this game to his team, but he won't be telling the public until kickoff. Expect to see Jack Tuttle or Connor Bazelak in this one, as these two have been competing all summer. Bazelak transferred in from Missouri as he threw for 2,548 yards, 16 TDS, and 11 INT last season. Indiana also has 2 new running backs as they have completely redone their running game as well. They brought in Sean Shivers from Auburn and Josh Henderson from North Carolina. As long as the offensive line can hold up, the Indiana offense will look to be better than last season. DeVito went 27-37 for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brett Bielema loves to run the ball, and he did so very well with Chase Brown, who rushed for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. This week they face Indiana, which hasn't played yet this season. The Hoosiers have taken in 12 transfers after a disappointing 2021 campaign. Indiana was dead last in total offense in the Big Ten last year. They hope that Missouri transfer Connor Bazelak can fix some of those offensive woes, but head coach Tom Allen hasn't publicly named a starter yet between Bazelak and 5th-year senior Jack Tuttle. I don't really see this affecting the handicap against an Illinois defense that was top 30 in the nation in most defensive categories including points per game, third down conversion percentage and yards per play. The extra rest shouldn't help the Hoosiers as the Illini looked sharp last week and had success running the football. This line feels like a trap spread with Illinois an underdog against a team that didn't win a single Big Ten game last year but make a small play on Illinois. Our third parlay pick is TCU vs Colorado. TCU minus 13.5 points. There will be game time decisions for both these teams on Friday night, with Colorado and TCU not expected to announce their starting quarterbacks in advance. The Colorado Buffaloes are deciding whether Brendan Lewis or JT Shrout will lead their offense. Both quarterbacks lack in production and starting snaps. Shrout hasn't taken a snap since 2020 and Lewis threw for only 1,500 yards last season. The TCU Horned Frogs bring back more production, with Max Duggan throwing for 2,000 yards and 16 TDs last year. Chandler Morris is in the mix for the starting position based on a solid training camp, which leaves a question for Friday's game. New head coach Sonny Dykes implements an explosive offensive scheme that should improve and experience offense whoever starts at quarterback. For the first time since 2000, TCU will enter a season with a coach other than Patterson on the sideline, as it missed a bowl for the second time in 3 years with a 5-7 campaign in 2021, leading to a change in favor of former Cal and SMU head coach Sonny Dykes. An upset of arch-rival and eventual Big 12 champion Baylor was the highlight, but TCU's normally stout defense was shredded throughout the year. Dykes, who found success at both Louisiana Tech and SMU but struggled with a 19-30 record at Cal, will bring his version of the air raid offense to Fort Worth. What's unclear is who will get the most snaps under center, as Dykes indicated that 3 quarterbacks will take the field on Friday. Alex Fontenot is the team's leading returning rusher after carrying the ball 98 times for 326 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Daniel Arias will be a key part of the wide receiver room after reeling in 19 catches for 299 yards and 3 scores in 2021. The defense is headed for a rebuild, with Nam Rodman likely to be a leader after making 23 tackles including 5 for loss plus recording 1.5 sacks last season. Offense was the problem for the Buffaloes last year, as they ranked in the bottom 10 with 18.8 points and a miserable 246.1 yards per game. The defense was at least a little better, allowing 26.7 points on 436.0 yards per contest. The Horned Frogs returned 10 starters from the offense that led the Big 12 in third down conversions. Quentin Johnston headlines a successful wide receiver group that brings back over 1,900 yards and 11 touchdowns from last year. The defense will switch to a 3-3-5 look to highlight their strong secondary. New defensive coordinator Joe Gillespie needs to figure out how to get more pressure on the QB this season. Defensive lineman Dylan Horton returns the most sack production on the line. The Buffaloes also need to figure out how to get to the quarterback. The absence of linebacker Carson Wells and defensive end Mustafa Johnson takes away 60% of the sacks Colorado accumulated last year. If the Buffaloes can't put pressure on the quarterback, a horrible secondary will get exposed even more. The Horned Frogs have the firepower to expose some of the worst defensive backs in the Pac-12. TCU is the play to cover in what could be a dominant debut for Dykes.